Hi everyone, this is Heather here with Treasured Hometown. I wanted to go ahead and show you that the item we're going to be making today, this is actually just a round circle vest. Super fun and easy to make. It uses very simple stitches. We use the chain, a slip stitch, double crochet, and like so many of my patterns also, we start with a magic circle. So it's very simple, very easy to get into. And it can be adjusted to make for bigger sizes also. I know I like it, about like this. Someone else, because we all come in several different shapes and sizes, might need more added to it. So yes, you could always add more rows onto it to get to the perfect size for yourself. Also, this is another pattern I just finished up. That one will also be available. Both these will be available inside my Etsy store. If you'd like to get a PDF photo instructions, written instructions, the link for that will actually be down in the description. And since I wore this, I'll go ahead and add a link in there too on that one as soon as that one's ready. Alright, for this project we're going to need a couple of supplies. We're going to need a pair of scissors in order to cut our yarn. We will need some darning needles. These are for helping weaving in all of our ends. We're also going to need a crochet hook. I am going to use a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. Now for yarn, we're using number 4 weight. I went with just the Red Heart Super Saver. First color I got was Perfect Pink. And then another color I got, same brand. It was the Baby Pink. These are all number 4 weight medium yarns. These are acrylic. And then I have Mulberry. And we also have Charcoal. And we also have Dusty Gray. So we're going to need all 5 of these to create the project. And it's going to have varying rows of color. All right, to start with this pattern, we're going to start, we're starting with the Baby Pink. First, we're going to make our magic circle. All right, now what we want to do is chain 3. Okay, then we want to double crochet 9 times into the circle. For this, that first chain 3 is going to count as our first double crochet, so altogether it would be 10 into the circle, but we're adding 9 double crochets after that first chain 3. Right, you got 1. And then pull the tail of your magic circle. Just pull everything together, and you want to slip stitch into the 3rd chain of our first chain 3 of the round in order to join it. And go ahead and tie off. So here is our first round. Now for our second round, We are using our perfect pink. I want to create our slip knot. And we want to attach that into one of these double crochet stitches. And then chain 3. Then you want to double crochet into that same stitch we attached to. And then you want to double crochet into each stitch all the way around. And you want to do 2 double crochets per stitch. So 2 double crochets per stitch all the way around for this row. All right, now that we've done our 2 double crochets around, we want to slip stitch into the 3rd chain of our first chain 3 in order to join. And we'll just go ahead and tie off. So you see we had 10 stitches and then we did 2 in each, so now we're at 20. Now our next color we'll go ahead and attach is mulberry. So we make our slip knot. We go ahead and attach it into one of our double crochet stitches from the previous row. And we'll want to chain 3. Then into that same stitch we attached, we want to do another double crochet. And then into the next stitch, we want to do just 1 double crochet. Then our next stitch, we want to do 2 double crochets. And then into the next stitch, 1 double crochet. So for this round, we're going to repeat 2 double crochets, and then 1 double crochet all the way around the entire circle. All right, so we've done our 2 double crochet and then 1 double crochet all the way around, and we want to slip stitch into our 3rd chain of our first chain 3 of the round in order to join. And we'll go ahead and tie off. So we had 10, 20, and now 30 stitches all together in this round. Now we want to go ahead and attach our next color, which is our charcoal. So go ahead and make your slip knot. And we'll go ahead and attach that into one of the double crochet stitches from the previous row. And we want to chain 3. Then we'll want to double crochet into the same stitch. So 2 double crochets essentially. And then into the next 2 stitches, we want to do 2 double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. And then the next stitch, we want 2 double crochets into the 1 stitch. and then 2 double crochets into each, or 1 double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. For this row, we're going to do 2 double crochets into the first stitch, and then the next 2 stitches get 1 double crochet, and we're going to repeat that throughout the entire round. All right, now for this row we've just completed. We did the 2 double crochets and then 1 double crochet in each all the way around. So for this row we had 40 stitches all together. Then we're going to add on our dusty gray, and we'll just attach that into one of the stitches from the previous row and chain 3. Then double crochet into the same stitch. Then we want to double crochet 1 time into the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. And then our next stitch, we want to do 2 double crochets into that stitch. And then we want to do 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches. Okay. Now we want to continue this pattern with 2 double crochets and then 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches all the way around, and slip stitch into our 3rd chain of our first chain 3 of round in order to join. All right, now we have completed our 5th round, so it has 50 stitches into that round of our 2 double crochet into 1 and then 3 double crochet into the next 3. We're going to attach our baby pink again. So create your slip knot and attach to one of the double crochets of the previous row. Then go ahead and chain 3 and then double crochet into that same stitch. And then we want to double crochet into the next 4 stitches, just 1 double crochet. And then into the next stitch, we want to do 2 double crochets. And then into the next 4 stitches, you want to do 1 double crochet, this entire round it is 2 double crochets into 1 followed by 4 double crochets into the next 4 stitches, and you want to repeat that for the entire round and slip stitch into your 3rd chain of your first chain 3 to join the round. All right, so we've just completed our 6th round, so there's 60 stitches into this one. 2 double crochet and then double crochet 1 time into the next 4 stitches. So to continue forward, we're going to attach our perfect pink. And then chain 3, double crochet into the same stitch. Then we want to double crochet 1 time into the next 5 stitches. And then into our next stitch, we want 2 double crochets. Then we want to double crochet 1 time into the next 5 stitches. All right. And we're just going to continue that pattern, 2 double crochets into 1, and then 1 double crochet into the next 5 stitches to do all the way around the entire piece, and slip stitch into our 3rd chain of our first chain 3 of the round to join, and that will complete row 7 with 70 stitches. All right, we have finished off row 7 with 70 stitches. Now we're going to start row 8 by attaching our mulberry. And we want to chain 3 and then double crochet into the same stitch. Then in the next 6 stitches, we want to do 1 double crochet. And then into our next stitch, we want to do 2 double crochets. And then we want to do, into our next stitches, 1 double crochet into the next 6 stitches. And we just want to repeat that throughout the entire round of 1 double crochet or 2 double crochets into 1 stitch, and then 1 double crochet into the next 6 stitches. And that would give us 80 stitches altogether, and you want to slip stitch into the 3rd chain of our first chain 3 to join the round. All right, we have just finished row 8. We're going to begin row 9. Row 8 had 80 stitches. So we're going to attach our charcoal color. Right, and then we're going to chain 3 and double crochet into that first stitch. Then into our next 7 stitches, we want to put 1 double crochet. Then we want to do 2 double crochets into our next stitch. And so for this row, it is going to be 2 double crochets into 1, and then 1 double crochet into the next 7 stitches. And you just repeat that all the way around. Slip stitch into your 3rd chain of your first chain 3 in order to join the round. You'll have a total of 90 stitches on row 9. All right, we have completed row 9. So to start row 10, go ahead and attach our dusty gray. And then we want to chain 3 and double crochet into that first stitch, and then into our next 8 stitches we want to put 1 double crochet. And then into our next stitch, we want 2 double crochets. And then we want to do 8 double crochets, 1 into the next 8 stitches. All right, so for this entire round, we want to do 2 double crochets into 1 stitch, and then 1 double crochet into the next 8 stitches, and just repeat that for the entire round. This round will have 100 stitches all together. At the end, slip stitch into your 3rd chain of your first chain 3 of the round in order to join. All right, we've completed row 11 or 10. Now to start row 11, what we're going to do is attach our baby pink to our piece. And then go ahead and chain 3, then double crochet into that same stitch. Then we want to put 1 double crochet into the next 9 stitches. And then into our next stitch, we want to do 2 double crochets. All right. So for this row, row 11, which will be 110 stitches, you want to do 2 double crochets into 1, and then 1 double crochet into the next 9 stitches, and just repeat that all the way around. And then slip stitch into our 3rd chain of our first chain 3 of the round to join. All right, we have completed row 11. So now we're going to start on row 12. So we want to attach our perfect pink. And chain 3, then we want to double crochet into that same stitch. Then we want to put 1 double crochet into the next 10 stitches. Then we want to put 2 double crochets into the next stitch. And so for this round, we want to do 2 double crochets into 1 stitch, followed by 1 double crochet into the next 10 stitches, which will give you 120 stitches altogether for this round. And at the end, we want to slip stitch into the 3rd chain of our first chain 3 of the round in order to join. All right, we have just completed row 12. So we're going to start on row 13 and attach our mulberry color. And we're going to want to chain 3, then double crochet into the same stitch. Then we want to double crochet, 1 double crochet into the next 11 stitches. Then we want to double crochet 2 times into the next stitch. And then for this row, we want to do 2 double crochets into 1, and then 1 double crochet into the next 11 stitches, and just repeat that throughout the entire piece. And make sure to slip stitch into, at the end, into your 3rd chain of your first chain 3 of the round in order to join. And that should give you a total of 130 stitches for this row. All right, we've completed row 13. Now's where things get changed up just a bit. We need to make our armholes for our vest here. So what we're going to want to do is go from where we ended, and we want to go towards the left to the next little area where we had our 2 double crochet into 1 and into our first double crochet of that 2 cluster. We want to attach our yarn into that stitch. And we are attaching our charcoal color. And in here we want to chain 3, and then we want to double crochet into that same stitch, and then we want to double crochet into the next 12 stitches, 1 double crochet, All right, so we did attached and added a double crochet to that same stitch, and we just did 12 double crochets. Now into this next stitch, we want to do 2 double crochets. And then we want to double crochet into our next 12. 1 time, 1 double crochet into the next 12. 1, all right, and then we want to do 2 double crochets into the next stitch, and then into our next stitch after that we want to put 1 double crochet, and from here we want to chain 24, right, and then we want to skip 23 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And then into our 24th stitch, we want to double crochet. All right, and then into our next stitch, we want to do 2 double crochets. And then we want to do 1 double crochet into our next 12 stitches. Right, and then we want to do 2 double crochets into our next stitch. And then we want to do 1 double crochet into our next 12 stitches. Then into our next stitch, we want to do 2 double crochets. Now we want to do 1 double crochet into our next 5 stitches. And then we want to chain 24. Then we want to skip 22 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. And into that 23rd stitch, we want to double crochet into there, and then also into the next 10 stitches, 1 double crochet. To the next stitch, you want to put 2 double crochets. Then you want to double crochet once into the next 12 stitches. and then slip stitch into our third chain of our first chain 3 of the round. And go ahead and tie off. And as you can see, I went ahead and put markers onto mine just to mark where all the spots were, just to help with showing you of where everything is. So that's why it was kind of important to start into that one specific stitch down here. So here's one side. This will be one of your armholes. And this will be your other armhole. All right, and so and that was row 14, a total of 140 stitches. Now to continue, we're going to attach our dusty gray. And we want to chain 3, double crochet into that same stitch, and now we want to double crochet once into the next 13 stitches, and then double crochet twice into your next stitch, and so for round 15 you're going to do double crochet twice into one stitch, and then double crochet one time into the next 13 stitches, and you're going to continue that around even on, but you'll be going into, whenever you get to the armholes, into the chains for going around those. And that one will be a total of 150 stitches altogether. All right, we have completed row 15. Now we're going to start on row 16. So we are attaching our baby pink. We're going to chain 3, double crochet into the same stitch, and then we want to double crochet into the one time into the next 14 stitches. And then into our next stitch, we want to do 2 double crochets. Okay. Now for this round, round 16, what we want to do is 2 double crochets into one, and then 1 double crochet into our next 14 stitches all the way around, and then slip stitch into our third chain of our first chain 3. So round 16 is 160 stitches. All right, so we have just finished round 16. Now we're going to start round 17. We're going to attach our perfect pink. And we're going to chain 3, and then double crochet into that same stitch. Then we're going to double crochet 1 time into the next 15 stitches. All right, and then into your next stitch, you're going to double crochet 2 times. And so for this row, we're going to double crochet twice into 1 stitch, and then we're going to double crochet once into the next 15 stitches, and we're going to repeat that all around the entire piece. Followed by our last stitch would be a slip stitch into the third chain of our first chain 3 to join the round. There will be a total of 170 stitches throughout that round. All right, we've just finished row 17. So for row 18, we're going to attach our mulberry onto our piece, and we are going to chain 3, double crochet into the same stitch where we started, and then we are going to double crochet once into the next 16 stitches. All right, now that we have our 16 double crochets, into our next stitch, we're going to double crochet 2 times. All right. Now for this round, round 18, we're going to double crochet twice into 1 stitch and double crochet once into the next 16 stitches all the way around. And then we're going to slip stitch into the third chain of our first chain 3 of the round in order to join. All right, so we have finished row 18. We're going to go ahead and start row 19. So we are going to attach our charcoal colored yarn and go ahead and chain 3, and then we're going to double crochet into that same stitch where we attached the yarn, and then we are going to double crochet 1 time in each of the next 17 stitches. All right, now that we've done 17 double crochets, we want to do 2 double crochets into our next stitch. And for this round, we're going to do 2 double crochets into 1 stitch, and then 17 double crochets of just 1 in each stitch. So 2 double crochets into the 1, and then 1 double crochet into the next 17 stitches. Repeat that all the way around, and then slip stitch into the 3rd chain of your first chain 3 of the round in order to join. All right, we have just finished up row 19. We're going to begin row 20. So we want to attach our dusty gray. And then chain 3, double crochet into the same stitch where you attached your yarn. And then you want to put 1 double crochet into the next 18 stitches. And then in our next stitch, we want to put 2 double crochets. For this row, what we're going to do is do 2 double crochets into 1 stitch, and then 1 double crochet into the next 18 stitches, and repeat that all the way around. And then you're going to slip stitch into your 3rd chain of your first chain 3 of the round, right here, in order to join. Row 20, which we'll be working on here, is going to be about 200 stitches. All right, we finished row 20, and we are going to begin row 21. So we are going to attach our baby pink. And then again, chain 3. And double crochet into the same stitch. Then we want to put 1 double crochet into the next 19 stitches. And then into our next stitch, we want to put 2 double crochets. All right, so for round 21, we want to do 2 double crochets into 1 stitch, and then we want to do into the next 19 stitches 1 double crochet. So 2 double crochets into one, and then 1 double crochet into the next 19 stitches. And you're going to want to repeat that all the way around for this row, and then you'll want to slip stitch into your 3rd chain of your first chain 3 of the round in order to join. Row 21 will have 210 stitches total. Alright, we've just finished up row 21. We're going to start row 22. So what we're going to do is attach our perfect pink. And then we're going to go ahead and chain 3 and then double crochet into the same stitch. And then for this row we want to double crochet once into the next 20 stitches. And then in our next stitch, we want to double crochet 2 times into that stitch. So we have our 2 double crochets here. And so for this round, what we want to do is do 2 double crochets into 1 stitch, and then 1 double crochet into the next 20 stitches, and just repeat that throughout the entire piece. And then to join, slip stitch into our 3rd chain of our first chain 3 of the round in order to join, and that will be row 22 with 220 stitches total. Alright, now that we have row 22 is all done, we're going to start on row 23. So we're going to attach our mulberry color. Alright, and then again we got a chain 3 and double crochet into the same stitch. And now for this row we want to put 1 double crochet into the next 21 stitches. Alright, now our next stitch, we want to put 2 double crochets into that stitch. Alright, and for all the way around this row, we want to start and do 2 double crochets into 1 stitch, and then into the next 21 stitches, we want to do 1 double crochet, and just keep repeating that throughout the entire piece, and then slip stitch into our 3rd chain of our first chain 3 of the round to join. Row 23 here will have 230 stitches. Alright, we have finished with row 23. So now we're going to work on row 24. So we're going to attach our charcoal gray, or charcoal, and chain 3, double crochet into the same stitch, and then we want to put 1 double crochet into the next 22 stitches. Alright, and then you want to, into the next stitch, put 2 double crochets. And so for this whole round, what you want to do is do 2 double crochets in 1 stitch, and then into the next 22 stitches, you want to put 1 double crochet. Do that all the way around, and be sure to slip stitch here in order to join the round. This is row 24, and there is 240 stitches in that row. All right, we have completed row 24. So now we're going to work on row 25. So we're going to attach our dusty gray. And then we're going to go ahead and chain 3 and double crochet into that same stitch where we attached, and then we're going to want to put a double crochet stitch into the next 23 stitches. All right, and then to our next stitch, we're going to want to do 2 double crochets. So for this row, row 25, you want to do 2 double crochets into 1, and then into the next 23 stitches, you want to do 1 double crochet stitch, and you want to repeat that all the way around, 2 double crochets into 1, 23 single double crochets, and then you want to slip stitch to join the round. That would be row 25, and it has 250 stitches. All right, now we have completed the 25th row. So for here, this one I'm making kind of a small, maybe pushing a medium in size. So I am stopping this one right here. So what's left for this one to do is to take all your ends, use your darning needles, and weave all your ends in. Now for those who want to do, or because everyone's different shapes and sizes, if you want to add more rows so that it closes more into the front, this one's more so just, you know, a vest to put on. What you would do is basically for each row, like in our 25th row, we did our 2 double crochets and then into 1, and then 23 double crochets in each stitch across, and this repeated that one. And the row before that, it was 22. So you just continue alternating your colors. Take your light pink, or baby pink, excuse me. And you do the same process for the next row, but it would be 2 double crochets and then 1 double crochet into the next 24 stitches. And then for another row, it would be 2 double crochets and double crochet into the next 25 stitches. So adding 1 per row and repeating it throughout the entire pattern. So each row will have an additional 10 stitches per row. So if you're, you know, a larger size, you might want to add more rows to it, depending on how you want it to fit. I recommend, as you're working on it and you come to an end of a row, pick it up, try it on, see how you like it. Think you need a little bit more? Easy, add another row. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you would like to see more of my videos, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and I'll be posting a new video at least once per week. And if you like this, be sure to hit like. Thank you so much for stopping by. Have a wonderful day.